Whenever you set and feel comfortable, 'cause we can start at 10
Okay.
and go to 10:30.
All right.
Do you want me to play some music before your broadcast at the beginning?
No, just give me fingers, like, your fingers,
Okay.
1, 2.
No problem. You're going to share a mic,
Okay.
so we just could make sure we hear you well.
Okay. Can you hear me here where I'm at now? Can you hear me where I'm at? On you? Can you hear me? You can hear me, right?
Just make sure you talk, because if you're away from the mic, it's going to
I got talk. I talk loud. Yeah.
Okay.
That's some of the books I have. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to start.
Good morning, radio friends. This is Reverend Thomas Humphrey coming to you again as the Lounge Row. We have wonderful guests today. We have the esteemed Honorable Mr. John Brooks right here in Suffolk County area, Port of Nassau too. A man that has been working with the community, looking out for our interests, and everywhere you look in Newsday and Channel 12 and Channel 1, you see Senator Brooks with some great ideas. I looked at his website last night, and it says a lifelong resident of Suffolk County, Long Island, Senator John Brooks has devoted his life to giving back to our community, and that is so true. In November 2016, the people elected him to continue his service in the New York State Senate. For more than 45 years, Senator Brooks has been an active volunteer firefighter with the Seafoot, Medford, and Lindenhurst Fire Department, previously serving as Seafoot Chief of the department. In addition to his work for the fire department, Senator Brooks served on the Seafoot Board of Education for a total of 6 years, acting as the vice president from 1997 to 1999. Senator Brooks, thank you for being on the show today. Tell my audience out there, we're up to 100,000 people now, some of the things you are doing for them. It's all yours.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much. A great deal going on in Albany right now, and a lot going on here locally at the same time. Certainly in Albany, one of the big issues is getting the state budget together, how we're going to address the tax changes that have been made at federal tax level, and school funding. That's a very ongoing debate right now in Albany. I'm going to be proposing some legislative changes very shortly on the way we're funding schools to ensure that we get some tax relief here on Long Island. One of the things we're working on locally right now that's critically important to me is hunger. It is universal throughout the district. We have more and more people having trouble putting food on the table and serving those families. We've got a lot of great food banks throughout the district. A great deal of assistance is given on food drives from the educational system. One of the things we're working on right now is we're getting ready to announce a week-long food drive that's going to take place in June. More details to follow. But what we're looking to do is to get enough food collected during this food drive to carry us through the summer months. So we'll be doing a lot more work in that area too. So that's just a quick snapshot of some of the things going on.
Thank you, Senator Brooks. My friends, the Lounge Row Church Talk Radio, we are blessed today. We have a repeated guest. I'm telling you, this woman does a wonderful job. I looked on her website last night, and it says about Carla Hall DeAmbro, living the love. And she said, I am a wife, daughter, sister, aunt, and advertising PR pro, and most recently, mom to BB, bike, hike, roll, blade, boogie boards, practice, yoga, bake cakes, sing in the shower, dance with my iPod, and drive with top down on my curvy road. And she said, I adore fine dining, fashions, making our house to a lovely home, traveling and experiencing the exquisite flavor of cultural, our beautiful world. I follow the golden rule and the teaching of Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy. I love my husband, family, friends, the Lord, and this glorious gift we call life. So, Carla, talk to us, and if you have anything there, Senator Brooks sitting next to you,
I'm
please
so
feel
happy
free.
to be sitting next to Senator Brooks because it seems that we're of the same mind. Last week I was here on the show and we were talking about hunger and we were talking about schools, and you're hitting on both of those. And what I am very interested in is making lunchrooms in the school cool again, because there is a real stigma about children eating in the lunchroom. The food isn't good, it's not cool to eat in the lunchroom, and yet we have kids right here under our noses who are going to bed hungry every night, and sometimes that is the only real good food that they get, even though the food could be better in schools, as we've discussed. But that is my platform, and I'm on a mission to make sure that people on Long Island don't go to bed hungry.
Okay, so since you're on a mission, we'll draft you to help us with this food drive that we're putting together.
Okay, that's great.
well,
I wanted to tell you, I used to be the communications director for the Office of the Comptroller in Nassau County, George Maragos.
Okay.
And we, even though it's not the comptroller's job, we did a lot to make sure that people in our community in the shelters were fed. We at Thanksgiving we did a lot of food drive, but you know what? Thanksgiving is one day, and we need to make sure that every day our people are fed warm
Absolutely
and have
the
a bed
case.
to sleep in.
Absolutely the
And
case.
you are a great person to help us facilitate that.
As we meet with some of the food banks that we have, many of them are serving far.
You can get it. Go ahead. You can get it. Pick it. You can get it. You sure?
Many of the food banks are in a position where they're serving hundreds of families in limited areas. It is a huge problem. It's a hidden problem. And what we want to do in June is we're going to tie a week-long food drive in with actually a shark fishing tournament in Freeport at the end of the week. So we're going to be coming out with more information, but we'd love to have you assist us with this.
Oh, that's great,
Right.
because what I feel is that, a lot of people don't know that they are hungry people, because so many of us are blessed in Nassau County, in Suffolk, on Long Island, and part of the whole branding and creating awareness of this problem, because there are a lot of really generous people on Long Island that would be so willing to participate and help us remedy this problem.
I'll agree with you. We have a boatload of good people
Mm-hmm.
on Long Island. That's kind of why we want to tie it into the fishing tournament, to bring a boatload of people to help everybody.
That's awesome.
To do that. One of the great things with the fishing tournament is as the fish come out of competition, they have staff there that prepares them to send out to the food banks so that people have fresh fish to eat as a result. So it's a great program, and we think if we dovetail them all together, we can do a great deal of good across the district.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much, Carla, for that introduction, talking to our great senator. He's a man that really has a heart for those that don't have food. Now we have Steve Staub. Is I'm announcing that right?
Steve Taub, yes, correct.
Say it again.
Steve Taub. Close enough.
Taub.
Okay, Tom. Okay, he is a producer, director. In 1987, to present the Melville, New York, Cooperate Television and Social Media, Video Production, Marketing, and Copywriting Skills, a combined approach that is creative and what this word is here, I can't pronounce it now. That's oh my God, help me. Let's go to the next one. What happened was my printer messed me up. I think it's forget it, Nathan. Making an instinctive connection and attractive new clients. Your corporate growth is our passion. He says, smart video production for all your needs. About Steve said, do not follow, he says, where the path may lead. That's what he said. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. So Steve, please talk to us about that trail you're talking about in your path in life. And I'm sorry about
no problem at all, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a video and television producer. I produce documentaries for PBS as well as corporate videos. I did a documentary about laughter and laughter's healing powers, in which I was nominated for an Emmy. Just recently completed a video for the Social Justice Center, our mutual friend Renee Ortiz, where I did extensive interviews with 5 Holocaust survivors, and it's now at Suffolk Community College at their Huntington Library. We have it all on a touchscreen, so we have their entire stories, 3.5 hours worth of video footage where you just go and you press it on the touchscreen, watch as much or as little as you like. And so now for forever we have their videos and their stories of the travesties that they went through during the Holocaust. So I enjoy doing video projects that have a social value, not just about making $1 on the back end. And to go with you, Senator Brooks, whenever I release a new documentary or whatever it might be, I go way back with the people at Long Island Cares and Paul Pachter.
Yep.
And any new release I have, I'll usually show it at Cinema Arts. And the deal is, if you're going to be going to one of my film releases, bring a minimum of 2 cans of food or that much more. So it's something I believe in also. I was fortunate when I was in high school. Harry Chapin showed up at my school way back when, 40 years ago. And so he kind of instilled that in me. And nobody should be hungry, and it's unfortunate that too many people are. So we're in the same wavelength as far as that goes.
Good.
Thank you very much, Steve. Now, last but not least, as the Bible says, first shall be last and last shall be first. Dr. John Tantillo is an international known marketing and branding expert who is credited with crowning the O'Reilly factor. His hundreds are published. Articles and media appearances have been seen on major news organizations, which include Fox News, Fox Businesses, MSNBC, ABC, New Life, French TV, and BBC. His media activity has reached millions over the years. His marketing and branding link column has been read every Wednesday on New Max. There he used his expertise as applied research psychologist. Wow. He needed to talk to Trump to analyze the issues of the day, utilizing his marketing and branding experience to assist his audience to go brand. My friends, Lounge, introduce to you Dr. John Tantillo.
Boy, that was such a great introduction. I should have you do that every morning to me. and that would really be wonderful. And you know, it's I love this idea, Senator, about the fishes. The fishing, you know, reminds me of the loaves and the fishes, of being able to provide food. I mean, that's great. And my friend to my left here, doing all those great videos on the nonprofit space, I feel so inadequate, because all I do is promote things, and you people are doing the work, and of course you too, in your public relations activity and communications activity, doing some wonderful things. And I would like to say that I have become a marketing and branding expert on your best friend in the world, Mr. Trump, the president, where I analyze his activity and his behavior using my marketing and branding lens. And the good folks in France actually asked me, if you go on the internet and you look up John Tantillo French television, you'll see my two appearances, where I think maybe I'm more recognized when I go to France than I am here in the States. That's not true, but I'm just joking. And no one's laughing here, so I don't know whether or not,
We
you
laugh.
know. But anyway, I'm trying to make light of the fact that I'm an expert with this very, very controversial president that we have.
Thank you. Any question for Senator Brooks?
No, I just think he's doing a wonderful job. I think, my parents grew up in the Depression, and my grandfather owned a fruit and vegetable store in Ridgewood, Queens. And what he would always do is make sure that somebody never starved, and would always give food away. So there's a connection that I have with you and what you're doing, and it brings back on. I remember my dear Aunt Anna, who was beautiful. She would always give money so that people would not starve.
Would not stop.
And so I'm very, very happy to be with this august group of professionals. So that's
Senator Brooks, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just, again, it's great to see everybody here understands and has the compassion to recognize that we have far too many people having difficulty putting food on the table. This isn't a Republican or Democratic issue, black or white or anything else. It's a human issue. It's something we all can come together. As I say, we're going to be doing this in June. We're going to tie it in with the tournament, and hopefully we'll gather enough food supplies to carry these people through the summer. It's unfortunate that so much of our effort is curtailed during those summer months, because so much is done through the school system. So we're hoping to really build up the bank so they can carry themselves through the summer without a problem as we move into the next school year.
Senator Brooks on his website says that Senator Brooks' legislative priorities include tracking government corruption, ensuring that all students receive a highest quality education possible, addressing taxation evaluations, confronting hunger in our communities, combating opioid epidemic, and making Long Island is as affordable place to live and raise a family, our families. Senator Brooks, you are doing a wonderful job in the legislature. I know that you're helping a lot of people, touching on corruption, touching on education, taxation, and combating that opioid epidemic, killing our beautiful young people. That's a wonderful work you are doing. How are you getting along with some of your ideas up there with those people up in the state chambers there, sir?
I guess the safest thing to say is the worm turns slowly in Albany. We're in a situation at the moment that I'm in the minority, although that may change in April. But we really are slow to address some of the critical issues in this state. And I think, if we go back to the events of this past week and look at the kids down in Florida who have now stepped forward and basically are criticizing government for its failure to address this problem, I think we need to do that across this state. We've got big problems in this state. The way we fund education, child abuse, the opioid problem is in every single community. We're doing what we can. We've got to do more. I wish we could find a solution to that problem. It's difficult, but we certainly need more treatment. There's a great deal to be done in this state, and I think the electorate has to hold the people in office accountable for what they're doing. We've got a number of common sense bills introduced. One of them, for example, requires that in private schools, like public schools, any incidents of child abuse must be reported. They don't have to do that right now, the way the law is written. We've had a serious incident up in the city of Buffalo with one of the private schools up there. This is a bill that we introduced last year. It's just been sitting. It's common sense. We've got to start moving some of these bills, get them through the legislature, put them in law so that we can address our problems. So how am I doing in Albany? Sometimes frustrated. The stuff is not being addressed when it should be. We've got, we here on Long Island, in many of our communities, are going to face a significant challenge in the next year with the changes made in the federal tax code and the reduction or capping of deductions for SALT-related expenses. More than 300,000 homes on Long Island right now pay more than $10,000 in taxes a year. This is a big issue. Many homes paying greatly more. And what's going to happen is, we always used to say that the only two things guaranteed in life is death and taxes. And we laugh sometimes about what we've taxed, and they said someday they're going to tax you on the taxes. Well, someday is now here. You're going to be taxed on your taxes the way this tax bill is written. We've got to make changes on that. I think we have to reform the way we fund education in this state. We cannot rely on real property taxes, residential real property taxes the way we have. We've got to make changes. At the same time, we've got to ensure that every child in this state has the opportunity to a good, well-balanced, full educational system. So a lot to be done. We've got a number of bills introduced. We're going to be talking about it a great deal more in the next couple of weeks.
Carla Hall's DM, bruh, said is on her Facebook, what is your career highlight or proudest career moments to date? She said, I was a managing partner in the $50 million brand communication agency where I was in charge of broadcast production. Big job, big risk, big headache, big rewards. I was proud to be in that position, but I am just as proud to be a broad member with the Glen Crow Boys and Girls Club and VP, a public relation executive committee. We ensure our kids to have safe and loving environment, and we help kids fulfill their potential. It is a part of my purpose, and I use my learning from my work at SUNY, Empire State College, to sit on the board on behalf of my children. Oh, wow. Come on, Carla, tell us about it.
Well, everything is a string of pearls, and you know, I am on the board of directors of the Glen Cove Boys and Girls Club, and one of the things I would like communities to do is to become more involved with their local Boys and Girls Club, because contrary to popular belief, the Boys and Girls Clubs aren't funded by the national organizations. We are all local, and it is our responsibility as a community to fund these places. I do know from personal experience that it's magic for the kids to be a part of the Boys and Girls Club. Personally, I found a homeless child in my Boys and Girls Club, and my husband and I took that child in. He had nowhere to go, nothing to do. He was 3 months shy of 18 years old. So we just took him in. It wasn't a legal adoption, but he quickly became my son. He is now 24 years old, almost 25, and he is playing professional basketball in Germany. He has gotten a SUNY education. He played college basketball. He graduated with honors from Glen Cove High School. In high school, as an athlete, he put his school on the charts, and they made history after 22 years, with my son being the most valuable player, making all Long Island basketball team. Long story short is, before I found him, he was eating out of garbage cans, having no place to sleep, and this was existing in Glen Cove on Long Island, one of the wealthiest places in the United States of America. And what I'm saying is, my purpose is to make sure that there are not children out there who are lost, who are living in cars, who don't have a place to take a bath, who don't have a place to sleep at night. That's my mission. That's my purpose. That's what I'm doing now.
And thank you so much for that. You're doing a lot, especially when you see adoption. You adopted this person.
No.
Took him.
You took
I
in
took
this.
him. He's my son, but I didn't go through the legal
You took
steps.
in.
I took him in. He's my son.
hmm
My husband is his father now, and just like that.
That's the love of,
It's
of a
love,
parent.
yes.
That's the love of a parent.
Yes.
Thank you so much for informing us on that. So, Steve, your production. I see you've been working now since 1987.
Yes.
What are some of your challenges in this production and doing your director and cooperation on these television sets and media videos and marketing and copyright skills? What are some of your biggest challenges in continuing this great work you are doing?
The biggest challenge in television and filmmaking is always fundraising, to be honest with you. And it's a very funny, quick story I'll tell you. Orson Welles was on his deathbed, and he was being interviewed by a local reporter. And this, of course, is Orson Welles, maybe one of the most famous directors of the century, if not the most famous, and certainly one of the 10 best. And when he was being interviewed on his deathbed, he was asked, if you had to do your life over again, what would you do differently? And Orson Welles responded, I would be a novelist, because raising money all the time is no way for a grown man to live. And this is Orson Welles having trouble raising money. I mean, he was